Hello everybody. Today I'll be showcasing my MATLAB final project, which is a turbidity tester. Here's my build. My light sensor is right here. My OLED display is here. The moisture sensor is right there, and the buzzer is back there, which is also used. And here is just the chassis for the build. It's just a cardboard box with 2 holes in it, but I know it's not too elegant, but I tried to focus on practicality. And here are the 4 water samples I'll be testing today. From clear, slightly turbid, moderately turbid, and highly turbid. Okay, so let's start with the clear water. Let's run the program. It's going to calibrate relative to the environment. And now we have to put the cup over the sensor and put the moisture sensor inside. And you'll see as soon as I put in the moisture sensor, the program will start taking measurements. Okay, now it's going to display onto the OLED. It's going to display clear water, safe to drink. And also the buzzer will also buzz too. And generally with the buzzer is the lower the frequency, that means the safer it is to drink. Now let's run the next test on the slightly turbid sample. It's going to calibrate again. And now we do the same process again. Now we can remove it. See what the display says. It says slightly turbid, unsafe to drink. Okay, now let's test the moderately turbid sample. Same process again. And it says moderately turbid, unsafe, very unsafe to drink. Okay, now let's do the last test on the highly turbid solution. Put the sensor in there. Highly turbid, extremely unsafe to drink. So what did I learn from this project? Well, for one, I learned how to problem solve effectively because I had to go through many challenges in this project, especially with the calibration and figuring out how to do that. Because at the start, I couldn't find a way to effectively use the light sensor to conduct these tests. I had to learn how to first take the ambient light and then compare that to the light reading of the water sample. Another thing that I learned to do is how to plot effectively and interpret those results as well. So at the start, once I got my 4 trials finished from all 4 samples, I had a bunch of data and I didn't know what to do with it. So what I had done was I plotted all my data and I tried to find like the range that each of those samples range from. And once I found out like the general area of each of them, that's when I manually made my own thresholds, which I then implemented into my program. And that allowed me to classify my water samples. The third thing that I learned from this project is how to use the OLED screens effectively. So at the start, I wanted to use these OLED screens, but I didn't know how to. So I had to go on GitHub and I had to find the functions that I needed to display on the OLED screen. I had to learn how these functions worked. As you can see here, there's 2 functions that I used, display and initialize. And you can see how many parameters there are. And all this I had to figure out on my own. So that was certainly a challenge I faced as well. So I learned how to problem solve effectively. I learned how to plot and interpret my data effectively. And I learned how to implement and effectively use my actuation devices. Thank you. That's all.